22 years ago, I traveled for the first time to Vézelay, a small city in the heart of France. And it was actually by coincidence that I came there. It was a holiday, and we had heard from friends about this nice little place with a huge basilique. And this basilique was built for Mary Magdalene. Now, in that time, I didn't know anything about it. But when I came there and I saw the basilique, I was stunned. It was like I recalled building it, like I saw the place, and it reminded me of very ancient time. Now, I have to tell you, I was stressed out from working too much, going on a holiday. But when I came to this church, I was even more stressed because I read in a booklet, a touristic booklet about this church, that it was burned down in the Middle Ages on the 21st of July, I think 1096 if I'm right, and 1200 people were burned in the church. And I knew right away this was not what has happened. It was not an accident. It was on purpose. Because the next day, on the 22nd of July, was the names day of Mary Magdalene. And how easy it would be to bring all these people together, to lock the doors, and to put fire in the church. It was actually the beginning of the crusade, of the Inquisition against the Cathars, a Gnostic sect in that time that wanted to bring back the feminine. Now, as I said, I was unknown to all of this. So coming to this church was like a revelation. And I sat down in the church, in the crypt, and started meditating and praying and asked, why do I see these things? Why do I remember how it was being built? What is the story of Mary Magdalene? And then for the first time I heard her voice very clearly. In my mind, she said, my story has been distorted, forgotten. I wasn't a prostitute. I wasn't a fallen woman. I was a high initiate, and I was actually the partner of Jesus. That has all been taken out of the Bible, but it's very much time that my voice will be heard in this time. That people know about the divine feminine. And she asked me, can you write down my story? So when I came back home after this holiday, I started writing about Mary Magdalene and about the divine feminine. But to be on the safe side, I thought I'd make it into a story. So I wrote the Book of Love, it's called. And I went to my publisher, and the publisher said, no way we're going to publish this because nobody is interested in Mary Magdalene. It was 98. So they ignored it. I sent it to 20 more publishers, and most of them said, no, we're not interested. Nice story, but no, there's no public. So I was disappointed, and I put it down into a shelf, and I forgot about it. But what I did do was I started a Mary Magdalene festival together with other people. And we kind of found all these traces about Mary Magdalene, the divine feminine, and it was like a whole journey of initiation for myself as a man, but also to uncover this story. And we organized this festival in the Pyrenees. And piece by piece, we found all kinds of little details. And funny enough, a couple of years later, an American woman traveled around and she found the same traces. She read the stories that we wrote, and she thought, wow, this is really very interesting. And she went back to the United States. And she told her husband about what she had found, a very big story that needs to be revealed. Now, luckily enough, her husband was called Dan Brown, and the rest is history. The Da Vinci Code came out, and funny enough, a couple of years later, a small publishing company in Amsterdam asked me, Tom, didn't you write also something about Mary Magdalene? Can we see it? And a year later, my book was published, The Book of Love. And since then, It's been selling, but the story of Mary Magdalene has been following me, has been chasing me, has been initiating me. This divine feminine, or sometimes I call it the dark feminine, because it's really bringing you from the light to the darkness, to your own darkness, but also to the darkness in the world, and to this place where you can embrace the darkness, embrace pain, embrace difficulties. It's not an easy ride. Um, so I'm telling you all this because after 22 years, I will be returning back to Vézelay. From May 16th to 23, we will have a gathering of unity. That's the name of it, a gathering of unity, together with Petra van der Linde and Anna Vanikova from the Czech Republic. We will have a week long of this initiation into the divine feminine or into the dark feminine. And I really like to invite you to come with me, explore this mystery, and bring Mary Magdalene home to her basilique. And especially, I like to invite men for this adventure because for women it might be more natural to connect with Mary Magdalene because she brings back this feminine, the power of the feminine. But what I discovered as a man is that this feminine power is also in us. It's something we have to relate to. We have to learn from. It's a very powerful wisdom of feeling, of the earth, of intuition. And we can benefit from that very much. And more so, I think the world needs this energy very much. The world needs men who listen to this divine feminine. So if you are a man and you feel like this resonates with you, I would very much like to welcome you on this pilgrimage to Vézelay. Welcome to Mary Magdalene's Mystery.